Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Daredevil. Born Again has been delivering some incredible action over the last 8 episodes, but Bullseye remains criminally underused in the show. With the migration to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there were a lot of fears that the spark from the original Netflix series would disappear. True, early on, Charlie Cox was announced to be reprising his role, and Vincent was tagged to come back as Kingpin, but beyond that, the casting and continuity were completely up in the air. Now, it's an absolute triumph that the series has brought back pivotal characters like Foggy and Karen, despite them only appearing in one episode, and the addition of Benjamin Aka. Bullseye has been a wonderful way to bring continuity in from Season 3 of the Netflix series to Daredevil. Born Again. But with that being said, these characters have ended up playing considerably smaller parts than they could or should. They deserve more, and if it doesn't happen in Season 1, they need to come back in Season 2. Bullseye has so far shown up in a total of 2 out of 8 episodes. That is Episode 1, when he turns up, kills Foggy, and then ends up in prison. Then, in Episode 8, Bullseye manages to escape prison, track down Kingpin, and crash his black tie event, where he very nearly assassinated the new mayor of New York. However, thanks to Matt Murdock's swift skills, he managed to block the attack just in time, even if it was at a great personal risk to himself. But in both of these episodes, Bullseye's presence has elevated the plot and taken things to a new extreme. His presence, his effortless ability to intimidate and inflict pain, and his endless ability to get under the skin of others have all made him an iconic villain, despite being so underused. Even if he returns in the finale episode, that makes up a total of a third of the season, and that is not nearly enough time to dig into this character and their incredible potential. Kingpin is an incredible rival for Matt Murdock on a mental level. The two characters, Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, have so much in common in terms of their motivations, mental states, and their compulsion towards violence. However, in terms of a physical match, Benjamin Poindexter has a much closer skill set. In fact, that made him the ideal candidate to pretend to be Daredevil throughout Season 3 of the original Netflix show. He is an exceptional fighter, has spectacular aim, and seems to have a superhuman awareness of his surroundings and targets. This makes him a perfect foil to Daredevil, and one that proves to be an intense challenge whenever he appears on screen. However, even more than that, Bullseye has a vendetta against Fisk. He behaves and acts in many ways like other vigilantes like the Punisher, but his motivation, brutality, and inhibition make him a dangerous figure who crosses lines Daredevil strives to avoid. On top of that, Wilson Bethel, the actor who plays the part in the show, is an incredible fit for the part and does a great job opposite Charlie Cox and D'Onofrio. While the final episode will likely make some big moves and establish what comes next in Season 2, it seems unlikely that Matt Murdock will be able to take down Bullseye in his weakened state. Having taken a serious injury in order to protect Wilson Fisk, Matt is in no shape to go into a battle against such a spectacularly matched rival. And since Bullseye avoided capture at the end of Episode 8, it seems like he may retreat in order to avoid being recaptured and sent back to prison. Daredevil. Born Again Seasons 2 and 3 are both confirmed to happen, so the writers and creatives behind the scenes have plenty of room to expand and explore the stories of these characters. There is no need to rush a resolution. Instead, Matt and Fisk need to have some serious screen time in the finale, and Bullseye needs to have more time for his story to be properly expanded upon. In the comics, he is a longtime rival to Daredevil, so keeping him around for the future of Daredevil. Born Again is an ideal Born Again is underusing Bullseye. He better be back in Season 2. As a lifelong fan of comic book adaptations, I found myself riding an emotional roller coaster over the past few years. Each new installment has its highs and lows, and while Daredevil, Born Again is no exception, one thing has left me feeling decidedly lacking: the utilization of one of Marvel's most lethal villains, Bullseye. As Daredevil's nemesis, Bullseye carries both intrigue and danger, but the show seems to have sidelined him during its inaugural season. Let's dive into why Bullseye deserves more screen time, why his story is crucial to the fabric of Born Again, and why I truly hope he comes back in full force for Season 2. The legacy of Bullseye. First, let's take a moment to appreciate what Bullseye brings to the table as a character. Born Benjamin Poe, Bullseye is one of Daredevil's most iconic foes, known for his impossible marksmanship and unmistakable arrogance. With a history that dives deep into psychological turmoil, Bullseye isn't just a villain, he's a tapestry of torment, ambition, and comedic derision with a penchant for sadism. In the Daredevil comics, the character has often served as a reflection of Matt Murdock's own struggles, his moral dilemmas, guilt, and the blurred lines between justice and vengeance. This duality makes Bullseye an essential piece of the Daredevil narrative, one that can unearth deeper themes and drive compelling drama. Yet, by underusing a character so rich, the show risks missing out on introducing deeper emotional stakes and narrative complexity. The underutilization of a complex villain. Throughout Season 1, Bullseye's role has felt more like an afterthought than the explosively menacing force we know him to be. While the series expertly builds exposition and draws on interpersonal relationships, the development of Bullseye as a central character has taken a back seat. Viewers are left wanting more of his cunning, more of his games, and frankly, more of that glorious chaos he brings. In fact, in being relegated to the sidelines, Bullseye's actions could have served to deepen the narrative's stakes. Imagine if Bullseye had been woven into the season's central conflicts, testing Daredevil's resolve in his own unsettling ways. The enchanting dark dance between hero and villain left unexplored means that the show sacrifices the chance to examine the psychological intensity that defines their relationship. ##### character dynamics and tension. One of the standout qualities of Bullseye is his ability to create tension whenever he's on screen. He doesn't just pose a threat but challenges Daredevil's very principles and beliefs about justice. Bullseye's existence operates like a mirror, forcing Matt Murdock to face not only his own nature but also those he cherishes. Think about how Bullseye's relentless pursuit of personal vendettas could have escalated the stakes, not just for Matt, but also for his closest allies. When characters like Karen Page and Foggy Nelson are in distress or danger, Bullseye adds layers of motivation for Matt to save his friends, reclaim his identity, and grapple with the morality of choosing violence. Should Matt become as ruthless as Bullseye to protect those he loves? This kind of thematic conflict is compelling and should have been a focal point in Season 1. ##### building up to a showdown. If Season 1 serves as the foundation, then a focused exploration of Bullseye could set the stage for a high-stakes showdown as we move forward. The implications of such a battle would reverberate through the ensuing seasons and offer viewers a crescendo of emotional payoff. Let's picture this. The season ends with Bullseye orchestrating a near-catastrophic plan that leaves the city reeling. Matt, dedicating himself to reclaiming the moral high ground, treats this struggle as the ultimate test of who he is as a man and a hero. The power dynamics shift throughout the season, leading to a crescendo that manifests in an intricate game of cat and mouse, leading to a climax imbued with heart-pounding tension. This anticipation of a major conflict serves as not just entertainment, but also as a literary vehicle to delve deeper into moral quandaries, legacy, and everything that defines the relationship between hero and villain. The bigger picture. Bullseye in the MCU. Bullseye is not just a compelling antagonist within Daredevil. He has broader implications within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tying Bullseye's backstory to a larger narrative could introduce new layers and expand upon the cycles of violence and redemption that the MCU has demonstrated
Bullseye
through its
crossing
paths with other characters in the MCU. Perhaps he could team up with figures like the Punisher, who embodies vigilantism with a flair for chaos. Such partnerships could symbolize underlying themes of anti-heroism, drawing juxtaposition against Daredevil's ethical struggles. This could craft a rich interplay between these morally nuanced characters and serve to underline the complexities each individual grapples with, making the case for Bullseye's prominence in future stories. Conclusion: a call for Season 2. As Season 1 wraps up, I cannot shake this feeling of potential lost with Bullseye's underutilization. The character's intricacy, combined with his adversarial connection to Daredevil, makes him an essential piece of the puzzle that could elevate compelling storytelling in Born Again. If done right, Bullseye could amplify themes of trauma, morality, and the never-ending cycle of violence. As fans fervently await the second season, one can only hope that the creative team behind Daredevil, Born Again, recognizes the bounds of storytelling that Bullseye's character offers. He deserves not just a cameo, but a significant role that will resonate throughout the series, bringing to life the chaotic essence of a villain that could propel Daredevil further into darkness while illuminating the path he must navigate. So here's my plea. Let's see Bullseye come roaring back for Season 2. Let him dance along the fine line between hero and monster, while prompting Daredevil to confront the darkness within himself, creating a narrative that is both daring and profoundly rich. The next chapter awaits, and it's screaming for Bullseye's involvement.